Alex opened his eyes slowly, his vision blurred at first. A soft, warm light filled the room, glowing like the sun behind a thin curtain. He tried to move, but his body felt heavy and strange. Every muscle protested, and a dull ache ran through his limbs. He blinked rapidly, trying to make sense of his surroundings. The room was unlike anything he had seen before. The walls shimmered with soft patterns that shifted gently, almost like liquid light. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the surfaces, forming shapes that seemed alive. The air smelled faintly sweet, like honey mixed with rain. Everything felt calm, almost serene, yet completely alien. "Ah, you are awake," a gentle voice said. Alex's head turned instinctively toward the sound. A figure stepped into view, moving with fluid grace. She was humanoid, but unlike any human he had ever seen. Her skin glowed faintly with a soft blue light, and her eyes were large and warm, reflecting curiosity and kindness. Her hair floated slightly as if in water, and when she smiled, it felt like a small wave of comfort washed over him. Where am I?" Alex asked, his voice hoarse. His throat felt dry and his lips barely formed the words. "You are safe," the figure replied. Her voice was melodic, carrying a softness that made Alex feel calmer, even in confusion. "My name is Lyra. I am here to care for you." Alex tried to sit up, but pain shot through his side. Lyra gently placed a hand on his shoulder, and the ache softened as if the touch absorbed some of his pain. He stared at her, amazed. How are you doing that?" Lyra giggled softly, a sound like bells ringing in a gentle breeze. "You held my hand while I healed you," she said. Alex's brow furrowed in confusion. I don't remember." "You do not need to remember," Lyra replied kindly. "It is enough that you are here now. The past is gone, and the future is yours to shape." Alex's mind struggled to grasp her words. His last clear memory was of his mission on the planet Zorath. He had been exploring an uncharted area, studying unusual wildlife for the Interstellar Research Council. He remembered a flash of light, a loud roar, and then, "Nothing Zorath," he muttered. "I was on Zorath." Lyra's eyes softened, sensing the memory's edge. "You were hurt there. I found you near the edge of the wild zone. You were alone and in danger. My people could help you." Alex tried to stand, but his legs wobbled. Lyra stepped closer, her presence steadying him. Her hand brushed his arm, and again the pain eased slightly. Alex marveled at how calm he felt in her presence, despite the fear and confusion. Where are your people?" he asked, curiosity creeping in despite his disorientation. Lyra smiled. "We are near the city of Aelora. It is a safe place, full of life and light. You will see it soon." Alex's eyes widened. "A city here?" He glanced at the shimmering walls around him. "It doesn't look like any city I've known." Lyra chuckled softly. "Our cities are different from yours. They grow with the people rather than people building them. The structures breathe, they move, and they change as life moves through them." Alex's mind raced, imagining what such a place could be like. He had seen many alien civilizations in his career, but none like this. Something about the calmness, the softness of the light, and the quiet hum in the air made him feel at ease. For the first time since waking, he felt curiosity overpower fear. Lyra noticed his gaze wandering to the symbols on the walls. "They tell stories," she explained. "They show what has happened and what may happen. You will understand them in time." Alex nodded slowly, absorbing every detail. He noticed that the room itself seemed alive, the patterns moving gently as if reacting to his presence. The thought was both mesmerizing and slightly unnerving, but he couldn't deny the beauty of it. "You must rest," Lyra said gently. "Your body has been through much. Healing takes time, and your mind needs it too." Alex hesitated. I feel strange, weak, but I want to understand what happened. I need to remember." "You will remember in time," Lyra reassured him. "For now, focus on the present. You are safe, and that is enough." Alex looked at her, studying her features. There was a kindness he had rarely seen in humans, let alone aliens. Her large, expressive eyes held warmth, and her smile carried an unspoken promise of care and patience. She was unlike any being he had met. Lyra extended her hand. "Come. I will guide you to the chamber where you can move more freely. You may be stronger than you think." Alex took her hand tentatively. The moment their fingers touched, he felt a gentle pulse of energy travel through him, easing the tension in his body. He gripped her hand lightly, surprised by the connection. You feel alive," he said. Lyra giggled again, the sound floating softly around him. "And you feel safe," she replied. With her guidance, Alex rose to his feet. His legs wobbled, but her hand supported him, steadying each step. As they moved, he noticed the room opening into a wider corridor filled with soft, glowing lights. The walls were lined with strange, flowing patterns that shifted when they passed, like a river of color moving beneath the surface. "Where are we going?" Alex asked, his curiosity growing with every step. "To the city," Lyra replied simply. "I want you to see the beauty of Elora. But first you must understand its people. They are not so different from you. Curiosity, kindness, and courage connect us all." Alex's mind wandered as he followed her. He remembered the dangers on Zorath, the wild beasts, the jagged cliffs, the sudden lightning storms. He had survived barely, and now he was here alive in a place that seemed almost dreamlike. The thought that an alien being had saved him, and that he had somehow held her hand during the process, left him both amazed and humbled. As they walked, Alex noticed subtle things. The air shimmered faintly as if alive. A soft hum filled the space, resonating in his chest. He realized the sounds were not just noise, but a form of communication, a gentle harmony that filled him with calm. "You feel it, don't you?" Lyra asked, noticing his attention to the hum. "Yes," Alex said slowly. It feels like it's alive. Everything here is alive," she explained. "Not just the people, but the city, the walls, even the light. Life flows through all things. Humans are beginning to understand this, but it is natural for us. Harmony is our foundation." Alex nodded slowly, absorbing the words. It was strange to feel this sense of peace after the chaos he had endured. He realized that in this alien place, survival was not just about fighting or fleeing. It was about connection, understanding, and care. Finally, they reached a chamber filled with soft, floating lights that cast gentle shadows on the walls. Lyra gestured for Alex to sit. "Rest here," she said. "Tomorrow we will begin your recovery in earnest. For now, just breathe and feel the life around you." Alex sank onto the soft, glowing surface, feeling exhaustion take hold. He closed his eyes, letting the gentle hum and the warmth of Lyra's presence soothe him. Memories of Zorath flickered briefly at the edges of his mind, but he pushed them aside. He thought of Lyra's hand, the gentle pulse of energy, the soft giggle that had made him feel safe. Somehow that simple gesture had bridged the gap between human and alien. It was a connection he could not explain, but it made him feel whole again. As he drifted into sleep, he realized something profound. Survival was not just about strength or skill. Sometimes it was about trust, compassion, and the simple act of holding a hand when it was needed most. Outside the chamber, Lyra watched over him, her glowing eyes filled with quiet joy. She knew he would awaken to a world far greater than he imagined, a world where humans and aliens could learn from each other, where courage and curiosity could build bridges between species. And as Alex slept, the city of Elora shimmered gently around them, alive and waiting, ready to welcome him into its harmony. Alex woke slowly to the gentle light of Elora's medical chamber. The soft hum of the room filled the air, a sound that now felt comforting rather than strange. His body was lighter, and the dull aches from the previous day had faded considerably. He sat up, still careful of his movements, and looked around. Lyra was nearby, attending to a glowing console that seemed to respond to her every gesture. When she noticed Alex awake, her face lit with a soft smile. "Good morning," she said, her voice melodic and calming. "How do you feel today?" "Better," Alex replied, his voice steady now, still tired but better. He flexed his fingers and marveled at how nimble they felt after the healing. "I remember bits of Zorath. Flashes, but it's unclear. I don't know what really happened." Lyra nodded knowingly. "Memory is tricky after trauma. It comes back slowly in pieces. We can help guide you through it, but do not force yourself. Let it return naturally." Alex studied her, fascinated by her calm and wisdom. You really healed me? That fast?" Lyra tilted her head slightly and giggled softly. "Yes, my people have spent generations learning the art of healing. It is not only about the body, but also the mind. Pain, fear, and uncertainty all affect recovery. You held my hand in that connection. It helped both of us. It allowed my energy to flow more freely." Alex stared at her in amazement. "So, holding hands really mattered." Lyra's eyes twinkled. "Small gestures often have the greatest power. Humans understand this better than we do sometimes. Empathy and trust are strong tools." He thought about that for a moment. On Zorath, he had always relied on his training, his intelligence, and sometimes luck. He had never considered that a simple gesture, a moment of trust, could be so meaningful. Lyra motioned for him to follow her. "Come, I will show you something. Walking helps your mind awaken as well as your body." Alex rose carefully, testing his strength. His legs were steady now, though a faint soreness reminded him of the dangers he had faced. Together, they moved through the softly glowing corridors of the medical wing. The walls shimmered gently, alive with subtle energy patterns. Alex watched them move and change with his every step, feeling a strange but pleasant connection to the environment. "You will notice that everything here is responsive," Lyra explained. "The city is alive in a sense. It senses energy, emotion, and thought. It adapts to the needs of those within it." Alex nodded slowly, fascinated. "It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it," Lyra smiled. "You humans are brave and curious. That is why you survive in many worlds. You adapt, learn, and discover. That is what makes you interesting to us." As they walked, fragments of Alex's memory began to surface. He remembered the sharp rocks on Zorath's cliffs, the roar of strange beasts, and the blinding flash of energy before he had blacked out. He recalled reaching for something, someone, but the details were hazy. "Do you remember the moment before your injury?" Lyra asked gently, sensing his internal struggle. Alex shook his head. "Only bits. I think I reached for something. Someone, but it's blurry. I can't grasp it fully." "That is okay," Lyra reassured him. "Memories will return when the mind is ready. For now, let us focus on what is in front of you." They reached a wide observation deck overlooking the city of Ailora. Alex's breath caught in his throat. Before him lay a city that seemed alive. Buildings shimmered and flowed like liquid glass, stretching toward the sky in graceful arcs. Bridges of light connected them, and gentle streams of energy pulsed like veins through the city. Strange creatures, both plant-like and animal-like, moved harmoniously among the structures, blending seamlessly into the environment. "It's beautiful," Alex whispered, unable to look away. Lyra's voice was soft with pride. "It is our home. Every life here contributes to its balance. Every action affects the whole. Harmony is not just a goal, it is a way of living." Alex felt a mix of awe and humility. On Zorath, survival had been about caution, skill, and often fear. Here, survival was about cooperation, understanding, and balance. The contrast left him both inspired and reflective. "Will I ever understand your people?" he asked. "I mean, fully?" Lyra laughed gently. "You will understand some things. Others are beyond human comprehension, at least for now. But that is not important. What matters is the connection, the willingness to learn, and the respect you give. You have already begun this path." Alex looked at her, realizing the truth in her words. He had been so focused on surviving, on remembering, on understanding the science of Zorath, that he had never considered that connection, trust, and empathy could be the key to his recovery and growth. As they continued exploring the observation deck, Alex noticed small signs of life everywhere. Creatures with translucent wings flitted among glowing plants. Streams of light moved like fish in a river through the city. The buildings themselves seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting gently as though alive. "Everything here is connected," Lyra said, noticing his gaze. "The city, the people, the environment. All life affects all other life. Humans are learning this as they explore new worlds, but many still struggle to understand the balance." Alex nodded. He felt a strange comfort in the thought that even in alien worlds, life could have a sense of order, beauty, and harmony. It reminded him of the moments on Zorath when he had felt awe in nature despite the danger. Perhaps that curiosity, that wonder, was what had drawn him forward. "Lyra, why did you help me?" he asked quietly. She smiled, the soft glow of her skin reflecting the city's light. "Because it was needed. Because empathy and care are our ways. Because you reached out literally when we met. That small gesture allowed me to help you more effectively." Alex remembered the moment vaguely. He had been unconscious, injured, and alone, and yet he had somehow held her hand. It felt impossible, but he trusted her explanation. Somehow that moment had bridged a gap between human and alien, between pain and healing. They walked to a quieter area of the observation deck where a large, flowing screen displayed holographic images of Zorath. Alex's attention sharpened. He could see his own expedition marked on the screen, small human figures moving across dangerous terrain, interacting with strange wildlife. One image showed him being carried by a glowing figure, Lyra, toward safety. That's me, Alex whispered. And that's you, Lyra nodded. Yes, that is the moment I found you. You were badly injured, and the balance of life around you was unstable. My people and I ensured you would survive. Alex's heart pounded. He had faced death on Zorath, yet here he was, alive, in a world so different, saved by a being he barely understood yet already trusted. The weight of it all pressed on him, but instead of fear, he felt something new. Determination. He would learn, explore, and grow in this place just as he had on Zorath. Can we go back? He asked, wanting to see the planet again, to understand what had happened fully. Lyra studied him for a moment, her glowing eyes thoughtful. We can observe it, but you cannot return physically yet. The planet is dangerous and your body needs time, but the memories your mind can travel. We will guide you. Alex nodded, accepting her words. He trusted her, and he knew that this guidance would help him regain not only his memory, but also his understanding of the broader universe. Lyra extended her hand again. Come, let us begin the process. You will relive fragments of your experience safely. We will fill in what you need to know, and together we will make sense of it. Alex took her hand, the warmth and glow familiar now, comforting. As their fingers touched, he felt the gentle pulse again, a rhythm that seemed to connect mind, body, and spirit. He closed his eyes and the world around him shifted. Through Lyra's guidance, he saw flashes of Zorath, the jagged cliffs, the roar of creatures, the blinding light, the moment of fear, and the sudden warmth of her hand. Each memory returned in vivid detail, yet softened by the safety of the present. He saw himself struggling, falling, reaching out, and then the glow of Lyra's energy enveloping him, lifting him from danger. The memory was no longer terrifying. It was filled with hope, courage, and connection. When he opened his eyes again, he felt stronger, more aware, and deeply grateful. I remember now. Everything, or almost everything. Lyra smiled. Good. Memory is a tool, but experience is greater. You have survived, learned, and grown. That is the essence of your journey. Alex looked out at the city once more. Elora was alive, vibrant, and harmonious. He understood now that his survival was not just about skill or luck. It was about connection, trust, and the willingness to accept help when needed. And most of all, he realized that simple gestures like holding a hand could have power beyond understanding. As they walked back through the softly glowing corridors, Alex felt a sense of purpose rising within him. He would not only recover fully, but he would also explore, learn, and honor the bond that had saved him. The adventure on Zorath had ended, but a new journey had begun, one of discovery, trust, and the remarkable potential of human courage in a universe full of life and wonder. Alex's eyes opened to the gentle glow of Elora's morning light. The city hummed softly outside the chamber, alive with movement and energy. Today felt different. He could sense it in the air, in the rhythm of the city, and in the gentle pulse of Lyra's presence beside him. Good morning, Lyra said, her smile as warm as ever. Are you ready to see more of Elora today? Alex stretched cautiously. His body had regained much of its strength, though he was careful with every movement. I think so, he replied. I want to understand everything I can about this place. Lyra's eyes twinkled. Then let us begin. She guided him out of the chamber and into a wide corridor that opened to a vast observation platform. From there, Alex could see the city in full, stretching as far as the eye could see. The buildings were organic in shape, flowing and curved, glowing faintly as if they breathed. Bridges of energy connected towers, and streams of luminescent creatures moved among the structures like fish in a river. It's incredible, Alex said, awe in his voice. Everything seems alive, Lyra nodded. Life here is connected. The city, the people, the environment all affect each other. Humans are learning this slowly. Many are curious, but few truly understand the balance we live with. Alex considered her words carefully. On Zorath, life had been harsh, wild, and sometimes cruel. Survival had been about strength, skill, and timing. Here, survival seemed to require understanding, harmony, and empathy. The contrast fascinated him. They began walking along one of the glowing bridges, and Alex noticed small details he had not seen before. Plants with translucent leaves grew along the edges, their stems pulsing with light. Small creatures darted between the plants, moving with a precision and grace that seemed intentional. Even the bridge itself shifted slightly under their steps, adjusting to their weight and rhythm. Everything here responds to life, Lyra explained. It is not just the people who adapt. The city itself adapts to support and protect us. Humans build cities that resist nature. We work with it, Alex nodded slowly. That is amazing. I've never imagined anything like this. On Zorath, nature was something to survive against, not with. Lyra's smile was gentle. Humans are brave. You survive where others cannot. That courage and curiosity are what make you special. It is why I was able to help you so easily. Alex remembered the moment he had held her hand while unconscious. It felt impossible, yet somehow real. That small gesture had created trust, connection, and healing. He realized now that courage was not only about facing danger, it could also be about opening oneself to connection and care. As they walked, Lyra began to explain her people's culture. We value empathy, learning, and cooperation above all. Every life is important. Every action affects others. We do not dominate. We harmonize. Humans, with your creativity and adaptability, are fascinating. You think differently and you are brave. That is why your species survives and why you are here now. Alex listened intently. So, humans and your people could work together? Lyra nodded slowly. Yes, it is possible, but it requires understanding, trust, and respect. Cooperation cannot be forced. It must be chosen. Alex thought about the expeditions on Zorath. He had relied on his team, on technology, and on quick thinking. Yet he realized that trust, communication, and mutual care had been just as important. Perhaps that was why he had survived the accident. Because even unconsciously, he had acted in trust and connection. As they moved deeper into the city, Alex noticed other beings like Lyra moving gracefully among the structures. They had soft glows and features that varied subtly, each unique yet harmonious with the environment. Some observed Alex curiously, while others smiled politely and continued their work. Do they watch me? Alex asked, slightly uneasy. Lyra shook her head. They observe with interest, not suspicion. You are a visitor, and your presence is unusual, but you have shown empathy and courage. That earns respect, Alex relaxed. I see. So it is about respect, not fear. Yes, Lyra said. Fear closes doors. Respect opens them. They reached a large plaza filled with fountains of light that shifted and changed with the movements of people around them. Alex watched as creatures of light, energy, and soft flesh interacted, communicating silently through gestures and glows. It was like watching a living symphony, every being aware of the others, responding, cooperating. Alex felt humbled. On Zorath, humans had survived by fighting, avoiding danger, or relying on technology. Here, survival seemed to depend on awareness, empathy, and connection. He realized that he could learn much from this approach, and perhaps teach some of his ways in return. Lyra led him to a central structure, a tower that pulsed with a soft green light. Inside, the walls were covered with symbols and flowing energy patterns that seemed to tell stories. She explained, These are our histories, our experiences, and our lessons. Humans have records and books, but we have this. Life itself is our teacher. Alex reached out to touch the wall. It responded immediately, glowing brighter where his hand touched. He felt a warmth, a flow of knowledge and memory, as if the city itself was sharing its story with him. It is overwhelming, he admitted. I can feel so much at once, Lyra smiled softly. It is a lot to take in, but humans are resilient. You will learn to navigate this world as you have navigated others. Patience, observation, and curiosity will guide you. Alex nodded, absorbing the lesson. He realized that his human strengths, curiosity, problem-solving, and adaptability, could complement the alien strengths of empathy, connection, and harmony. Together, perhaps humans and aliens could achieve far more than either alone. As they explored, Lyra paused and looked at him seriously. Alex, and there is something you should know. Not everything in this world is as peaceful as it seems. The wild zones beyond the city have grown dangerous. Some creatures have become aggressive and imbalance is spreading. Your skills, human ingenuity, may be needed to help maintain harmony. Alex's heart raced. Dangerous, like the creatures on Zorath? Yes, Lyra said gently. But controlled, guided action can restore balance. We cannot do it alone. Your courage, your quick thinking, and your willingness to act are needed. Alex felt a surge of determination. He had survived Zorath, learned from it, and now found himself in a world where cooperation could save lives. "Then I will help," he said firmly. "I will do what I can." Lyra's eyes glowed softly. "Good. That is the human spirit I hope to see. Courage tempered with wisdom can accomplish wonders." They continued walking through the plaza, observing the interactions of the alien citizens. Alex noted the subtle ways in which they communicated, healed, and assisted one another. He began to understand that their society was built not on competition, but on collaboration. Every individual contributed to the well-being of the whole. "Humans can learn from this," Alex said thoughtfully. "On many worlds, we fight to survive. But here, cooperation is the key." "I can see that," Lyra nodded. "And humans teach us as well. Your creativity, your ability to innovate under pressure, your courage, these are things we admire. You survive in places we would find dangerous. You think in ways we cannot. Together we can learn from each other." Alex felt a sense of purpose growing within him. He was no longer just a survivor. He was a bridge between species, a participant in a story larger than himself. The lessons of empathy, courage, and connection were becoming clear, and he knew that his next actions would matter not just for him, but for many others. As the sun, or what served as a sun in Alora, shifted, casting long, glowing shadows across the plaza, Alex realized that he had found a place where learning, courage, and empathy intersected. He felt ready to face the challenges ahead, knowing that he was not alone. Lyra's hand, glowing faintly beside him, reminded him of the bond they shared and the power of simple gestures. Today, he would explore more of the city. Tomorrow he might venture into the wild zones. But for now he would absorb, learn, and prepare. The world of Alora was vast, alive and full of possibilities, and Alex knew he was ready to embrace them all. With Lyra guiding him, he stepped forward into the glowing city, every sense alive with wonder, curiosity, and the certainty that human courage combined with alien wisdom could overcome even the greatest challenges. Alex awoke to the soft glow of the morning light in Alora. Today felt different from the others. There was tension in the air, a subtle ripple that he could feel in the hum of the city. Lyra was already nearby, moving gracefully through the room, her glowing presence calm yet purposeful. "Alex," she said gently, "today we will venture beyond the city. There are injured beings in the wild zones, both human and alien. They need help. Your skills will be crucial." Alex's heart raced. The wild zones had been dangerous when he first arrived on Zorath. But he also felt a surge of determination. He had recovered, learned, and grown in the past days. He was ready to face the challenge. "I'm ready," he said firmly, standing and stretching cautiously. His muscles were stronger now, and the pain from his previous injuries was almost gone. Lyra smiled. "Good. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. And you are not alone. I will be with you every step of the way." Together they left the city, stepping onto a bridge that extended over the glowing streets below. The transition from the city to the wild zones was stark. The flowing, harmonious structures gave way to uneven terrain, jagged rocks and dense foliage that pulsed with faint energy. Strange creatures moved in the distance, some glowing softly, others with patterns that shimmered like fire. Alex felt a thrill of both fear and excitement. The wild zones were alive, unpredictable, and potentially dangerous. But he trusted Lyra and he trusted himself. He had survived before. He could do it again. "Stay close," Lyra advised, her hand brushing lightly against his. "Observe first. Act second." The wild zones respond to energy, movement, and intent. Sudden aggression can provoke dangerous reactions. Alex nodded. He followed her carefully, his senses heightened. He noticed the subtle signs of life around him, the movement of glowing plants, the rustle of creatures hidden in the shadows, and the pulse of energy that seemed to flow through the land itself. After some time, they reached a small clearing where a group of injured beings was gathered. Among them were humans, explorers who had ventured too far, and aliens with translucent skin and glowing eyes. Some lay motionless while others trembled in fear or pain. Alex felt a surge of determination. "We need to help them," he said quietly. Lyra nodded. "Yes, focus on stabilizing those who are most at risk first. The rest will respond to calm energy and guidance." They worked together methodically. Lyra used her glowing hands to heal wounds, her touch radiating warmth and energy. Alex assisted, using his human ingenuity to create temporary supports, bandages, and tools from the environment. Even in danger, he noticed the coordination and trust that formed between him and Lyra. Their actions complemented each other. Human creativity paired with alien healing. One of the injured humans, a young explorer named Mara, looked at Alex with wide, frightened eyes. I thought we were lost," she whispered. "You're safe now," Alex reassured her. "We've got you. Just focus on staying calm." Lyra joined him, her hands glowing over Mara's wounds. The human's breathing steadied, and color returned to her face. Alex felt a deep sense of satisfaction. This was more than survival. It was protection, compassion, and courage in action. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the clearing. The ground trembled and shadows shifted among the trees. A massive creature emerged, its body covered in bioluminescent patterns, eyes glowing fiercely. It moved with power and speed, and Alex could feel the tension in the air. The other injured beings froze, paralyzed by fear. "Stay calm," Lyra instructed, her voice steady. "Aggression can provoke it. Approach carefully and show no fear." Alex's mind raced. He remembered the lessons from Zorath. Analyze, anticipate, and act decisively. He stepped forward slowly, hands raised in a gesture of calm. The creature hesitated, observing them. Lyra joined him, radiating soothing energy. Together, they projected calm and empathy rather than aggression. The creature tilted its head, sniffing the air, and then slowly backed away. Alex exhaled in relief, realizing that courage was not always about fighting. It was about understanding and responding wisely. They continued their work, moving through the wild zones and treating the injured. Alex discovered that his human ingenuity was invaluable. He could improvise tools, find safe paths, and think quickly under pressure. Lyra's alien abilities complemented him perfectly, healing and guiding the creatures and humans alike. As they worked, Alex began to notice patterns in the wild zones. The creatures were not inherently aggressive. They were reacting to imbalance in the environment. Some areas had been disturbed by human activity, mining, exploration, and accidental disruption of habitats. The aggression was a response to imbalance, not malice. Lyra observed his insights. "You understand it," she said softly. "Humans have a unique ability to see patterns, to innovate, and to adapt. This is why your species survives in so many worlds." Alex felt a sense of pride, but also responsibility. "Then we need to fix the imbalance," he said. "We can't just heal the creatures, we have to restore the environment." Lyra nodded. "Yes, that will be the next step. But first, we must ensure that all beings are safe. Then we can work on long-term solutions." By the end of the day, they had stabilized the injured. Humans and aliens alike began to move with more confidence, guided by Alex and Lyra. The wild zones were still dangerous, but the immediate threat had been managed. As they prepared to return to the city, Alex reflected on the experience. He had faced fear, danger, and uncertainty, but he had also acted with courage, creativity, and compassion. He realized that survival was not just about strength or skill. It was about connection, understanding, and the willingness to act for the greater good. Lyra walked beside him, her glowing presence comforting. "You have grown," she said softly, "not just in strength, but in understanding. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act wisely despite it. You have demonstrated that today." Alex nodded. "I feel different, stronger, but also more aware. I understand now that courage isn't just about fighting, it's about protecting, helping, and connecting with others." Lyra smiled. "Exactly. And that understanding will serve you well in the challenges to come. There are still dangers, still imbalances, but you are ready to face them." As they crossed back into the city, Alex noticed the subtle changes in himself. He felt more confident, more capable, and more connected to the world around him. The experiences in the wild zones had tested him, but they had also taught him the value of cooperation, empathy, and courage. In the days that followed, Alex and Lyra worked together to plan longer-term solutions. They mapped the wild zones, identified areas of environmental imbalance, and developed strategies to restore harmony. Alex's human ingenuity combined with Lyra's alien wisdom to create solutions that neither could have achieved alone. Through these efforts, Alex began to understand the true power of cultural bridges, the ability to learn from one another, to combine strengths, and to work together for the greater good. Humans and aliens working side by side could overcome challenges that neither could face alone. One evening, As they rested on a glowing bridge overlooking the city, Alex reflected on everything he had learned. "Lyra," he said quietly, "I've faced danger before, but nothing like today. And yet, I feel hopeful. I feel like we can make a difference." Lyra's eyes glowed softly. Hope is the foundation of courage, and courage, combined with understanding and action, creates change. You have that power, Alex. You have shown it today. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of purpose and connection that he had never experienced before. The wild zones had tested him, challenged him, and taught him the value of courage, empathy, and cooperation. He knew that more challenges awaited, but he also knew that he was ready. As the city of Alora shimmered below them, alive with light and energy, Alex realized that his journey was far from over. The wild zones had been a test, but they had also been a lesson in courage, connection, and the power of human ingenuity when combined with alien wisdom. And as he held Lyra's hand, feeling the familiar warmth and pulse of energy, he understood something profound. Survival was not just about strength or skill. It was about trust, courage, and the willingness to act for the good of others. With that knowledge, Alex felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in his abilities, in his bond with Lyra, and in the potential of humans and aliens working together to create a better, balanced, and harmonious world. Alex woke to the soft morning light of Alora, feeling a sense of purpose stronger than ever. The city hummed gently around him, alive and alert, as though it sensed the importance of the day. Today was not just another day of exploration. It was the day they would act to restore balance to the wild zones, to heal the land, and to show that humans and aliens could work together for a greater good. Lyra was already waiting. Her glowing form moved gracefully through the chamber, her eyes filled with calm determination. "Alex," she said, her voice melodic and warm, "today we will lead the effort to restore harmony. The creatures, the land, and even the human explorers need your guidance. Your courage and understanding will be the key." Alex rose carefully, his body feeling strong, alert, and ready. He had faced danger, injury, and fear before, but the lessons he had learned, courage, empathy, and cooperation, were now part of him. "I'm ready," he said firmly. "Let's do this." They left the city together, crossing the glowing bridges into the wild zones. The terrain was still rugged and unpredictable, but Alex now felt more confident. Every step was deliberate, every observation precise. He noticed patterns in the movement of creatures, shifts in energy flows, and signs of environmental imbalance. Each detail mattered. Lyra walked beside him, radiating calm energy. "Remember," she said, "we do not force the creatures. We guide them. We restore balance by understanding, not by dominance." Alex nodded. "I understand. It's not about control. It's about cooperation." Their first task was to stabilize the areas most affected by disruption. Alex worked alongside Lyra, using human ingenuity to create temporary barriers, guide water flows, and adjust the environment gently. Lyra's healing abilities complemented his efforts perfectly, calming stressed creatures and restoring injured wildlife. As they worked, Alex began to notice something remarkable. The creatures of the wild zones responded to their combined actions. When Alex guided them along safe paths and Lyra radiated calming energy, the creatures moved with trust rather than fear. Aggression subsided. The balance slowly began to return. "This is incredible," Alex said, watching a group of bioluminescent creatures settle into a safe area. "They're listening, not in words but in understanding. They trust us," Lyra smiled softly. "Trust is earned through consistent action and understanding. You are learning quickly, Alex. Your human courage and quick thinking combined with empathy create harmony." As they moved deeper into the wild zones, they encountered more challenges. A large chasm blocked their path, its walls unstable. Alex examined the terrain, using his engineering skills to find a safe route. He crafted temporary supports from natural materials, guiding both humans and aliens safely across. Lyra observed his methods with admiration. "Your creativity and adaptability are impressive. Humans survive in ways we cannot. Today that skill will save lives." Alex felt a surge of pride but remained focused. Courage was not about recognition, it was about action, protection, and cooperation. He guided everyone carefully, step by step, ensuring safety while maintaining the flow of life around them. Later, They reached a grove where several injured creatures had gathered, frightened and aggressive. Lyra stepped forward first, projecting calm energy and warmth. Alex followed, his hand steady as he arranged barriers and gently coaxed the creatures to safer areas. Together they worked seamlessly. Hours passed as they restored harmony, and slowly the wild zones began to stabilize. The aggressive patterns disappeared, water flowed smoothly, and creatures moved with confidence rather than fear. Humans and aliens alike marveled at the effectiveness of cooperation. As they paused to rest, Alex looked out over the landscape. The wild zones, once chaotic and dangerous, were now alive with calm energy. The creatures moved freely, and the land itself seemed to breathe more easily. "We did it," Alex said quietly, a sense of accomplishment washing over him. "The balance, it's coming back." Lyra's eyes glowed warmly. "Yes, but this is only the beginning. Harmony is maintained through continued care, understanding, and cooperation. Humans and aliens must continue to work together to preserve it." Alex nodded. He realized that this experience had changed him. Courage alone was not enough. Understanding, empathy, and collaboration were equally important. Humans had much to offer, but so did Lyra's people. Together they could accomplish remarkable things. As they returned to the city, word of their success spread quickly. Citizens of Elora gathered, observing the humans who had ventured into the wild zones and the aliens who had guided them. Alex noticed pride in Lyra's eyes, not only for him but for the collaboration that had made their success possible. In the city plaza, Lyra turned to Alex. "You have shown what humans can do when courage is combined with wisdom and empathy. Today you have bridged our cultures in a way few have before." Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of connection. "I've learned so much. Your people have taught me that life is about more than survival. It's about care, trust, and understanding. I hope humans can carry that lesson wherever we go." Lyra reached out her hand, glowing softly. "And you have taught us that courage, creativity, and determination are powerful tools. Together we can face challenges that neither could alone." Alex took her hand, feeling the familiar warmth and pulse of energy. It reminded him of the first moment they had connected, the hand he had held while unconscious. That simple gesture had started a journey of trust, courage, and collaboration. Now it symbolized something far greater: hope for the future. Over the following days, humans and aliens worked together to strengthen the environment. Humans shared engineering techniques and resource management strategies. Aliens shared healing methods, energy flow techniques, and ways to harmonize life with the environment. Slowly, the wild zones flourished. Alex observed the results with awe. Rivers flowed smoothly, creatures thrived, and the land glowed with renewed energy. Humans and aliens moved together in harmony, sharing knowledge, skills, and laughter. The experience had shown that courage, empathy, and cooperation could overcome even the greatest challenges. One evening, as the twin moons of Elora rose over the glowing city, Alex and Lyra sat on a balcony overlooking the restored wild zones. The soft hum of life filled the air, a melody of energy, motion, and harmony. "You've grown much, Alex," Lyra said softly, "not just in strength or skill, but in understanding. Courage without wisdom is incomplete." "You have learned both," Alex nodded, gazing at the horizon. "I've learned that survival is not enough. Life is about connection, empathy, and action. Holding a hand, offering help, trusting others, these small acts can change everything." Lyra's eyes glowed warmly. "And that is the essence of cooperation. Humans and aliens working together can achieve wonders. Today, you have shown that courage and compassion can restore harmony where chaos once ruled." Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The wild zones had tested him, taught him, and changed him. He had learned the power of trust, the importance of courage tempered with understanding, and the value of working together across species. As they watched the glowing land below, Alex knew that this was only the beginning. Humans would explore new worlds, encounter new challenges, and face dangers, but the lessons of Elora, the lessons of empathy, courage, and collaboration would guide them. Lyra squeezed his hand gently. "The future is bright, Alex. Humans and aliens together can create a universe of understanding, harmony, and hope." Alex looked at her, then at the glowing city and the thriving wild zones. He felt pride, determination, and hope. "Yes," he said quietly. "We can. Together." And in that moment, under the twin moons of Elora, Alex understood the full meaning of his journey. It had begun with a simple gesture, a hand held in trust, but it had grown into something far greater. Courage, connection, and the promise of a future where humans and aliens could work side by side to protect life, restore balance, and build a universe of hope. The city glowed softly below them. Alive and vibrant, the wild zones thrived. The creatures, humans, and aliens moved in harmony, and Alex knew that wherever humanity went next, the lessons of courage, empathy, and cooperation would light the way. In the distance, the soft hum of Elora filled the night air, a reminder that life in all its forms could flourish when courage met compassion and when trust bridged worlds. Alex held Lyra's hand, feeling the pulse of energy and the warmth of connection. The journey had been long, the challenges great, but together, they had created something extraordinary, a testament to human courage and the power of collaboration across the stars. And as the stars shimmered above, Alex knew that the story of Elora, of humans and aliens working together, was only the beginning of a universe filled with hope, adventure, and harmony.